As we get close to towards the end of this thing, what I'd like to do is to ask this final question, and maybe each of the panelists can give your thoughts about it. The question is actually the long-term effect of the economy of the additional $700 billion of national debt. And really, what I would like to add on to that is give your thoughts about where do we go forward if there's not a proposal on the table this week, and what do you look forward to seeing to stabilize the markets, and what do you think the Congress should do to help us in the situation? Dan, would you like to get started on that?
I guess so. In terms of the overall increase in debt, suppose that the $700 billion does, it's a complete, we buy assets that are all worth nothing, it's $700 billion that we've just thrown down the toilet. That's not going to happen, but suppose it is. Overall, in terms of our overall GDP, we could still handle it. I mean, you could still handle that debt. It's not going to be as terrible as people think it is. So that's the first part. What's going to happen with the potential rescue plan? I think probably something similar to what didn't pass yesterday is going to get passed. That's my expectation, is that they're going to come back and they're going to pass something, maybe if not exactly the same, pretty close to being the same, and it'll get done pretty quickly. I think there might be cover now for the politicians who, their constituents called them up and said, don't pass this, don't pass this. After the stock market fell yesterday, they can say, this is what happens if we don't pass it, and that might be able to buy them what the dozen votes they need. If something doesn't get passed, and the situation gets worse, potentially, I guess, would they potentially consider nationalizing some of the financial firms? Basically, that's what they did with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That's basically what they did with AIG. It's something called the Swedish model. And about 10 days ago, I almost had the financial crisis spill over to my own home. I was downstairs late at night on the computer, and my wife came downstairs and caught me Googling Swedish model at 1:30 in the morning.
Trouble in the marriage.
Trouble marriage. But so she looked at me and said, "Well, you're an economist. I don't have to worry." So, but this is that's basically what Sweden did in the early 1990s, and they basically put about 4% of their GDP in, and they basically got it all back. It was a temporary nationalization. It wasn't. I'm not talking about holding these firms forever in the government. That we move towards this permanent socialism. That's what people would say. This is socialism. Yes, it is. Potentially, it could work temporarily. I'm not saying that's the way we go, but if things get bad, maybe that's an alternative. If things get so bad, that might be something we would have to consider.
Thank you. Mitch, your wish list.
I would say on this, they will pass something because, as I continually point out to the guys that work for me, the only time that I've really been proven wrong with predicting political outcomes is when I haven't been cynical enough. And if you want to be cynical, this is a perfect time to really bring that out. What's going to happen, the bill that originally went to Congress was 3 pages long. The one that was voted down is 110 pages long. Ladies and gentlemen, the pigs are at the trough. There's going to be a few more libraries named after somebody. We'll be building some bridges to somewhere. They'll have whatever earmarks they have to do. They'll do the horse trading. They'll get this thing done. Okay, they will get it done. I think they're going to understand. But the crass political gamesmanship that you witnessed yesterday was hugely disappointing. And then you saw it in the reaction of the markets. We've told you what the issues are out there today. To turn this into a political football because of the proximity to a presidential election, there are financial ramifications here that need to be considered. So I think they'll work something out, because if they don't, it's going to be a very challenging environment for investors and for the economy.
Thank you. Mike?
I'm not sure I have a lot to add to that, other than I just reiterate you need to be in touch with your own affairs and talk to your advisors about it and your bankers about it. And now's not the time to be secretive. Now's the time to say, I need your advice. Even if it's a sounding board, you need to walk through and talk through the process. As far as Washington is concerned, hopefully they can get past their biases towards one another and do what's right for our country. And in my opinion, it's a stabilization process. They have to go through this.
Thank you, Michael. Larry?
Yeah, I think that if they don't get passed, I think we'll muddle through. There's no question about it. I think it'll be more costly if it doesn't get passed than if we don't, though, or than if they do pass it. There's problems with it. There's no question about it. There's problems that they don't know quite how to deal with, like this executive compensation thing. It's distasteful. It's disgusting. But I do think that there'd be a substantial cost to not doing something at this point. I think the government at this point can do something, and they probably ought to. Once again, if they don't, we'll muddle through.
Okay. John, thank you.
So I think the guys are all making really good points here, and there's not much to add. I would just make a couple of things in terms of perspective. This is about a $700 billion sort of fund that they're establishing, and everybody's concerned about how this is going to impact the national debt, but the reality is the national debt's somewhere between 20 and $23 trillion. So it's not that big a deal in perspective to that. And the other point that I would just reiterate that Mitch made was this is really just a big vulture fund. There's an opportunity for the government to actually make money doing this. And you think about the guy who's the Treasury Secretary. He's the guy that ran the firm that makes the most money, is the smartest guy in that group. So, you know, it's almost like it's a break for us to have the really smart guy like this running that. So,
thanks, Sean. And Paul?
Well, I think they'll get something passed. And the key here is that the big problem isn't so much the money, but the confidence they have to rebuild. And what they did yesterday was really fail us in leadership and cause us a big problem with additional fear that they didn't have to put into the system. They need to count those votes and know they have it before they cause this sort of turmoil within the market.
That's right.
Thank you, all of you. First, I want to say there are a lot of questions here that I didn't get a chance to answer that. Dana has promised that we will put some answers on it on the blog, so do look forward to that. And before we finish up for the morning, I should say evening, it's been seeming like a lot. Would you please join me in thanking these wonderful panelists? And on behalf of the Seidman College of Business, Dean Williams and Associate Dean John Reifel, I want to thank you, all of you, for coming here. I know our guests will be happy to meet with you if you have a few questions before they head out. Thank you again for being and joining us in this important discussion.